Assalamu alaikum and welcome back, sisters. You're watching Women's AM with myself, Ayan, and joining me on the panel we have Sisters Nusrat, Sister Hannah and Sister Halima. It's now time for our final segment this morning where I talk to you about my experience in Senegal. So if you've been watching the selfies in Africa that's been happening throughout this month of Ramadan at 7:10 in the evening, then you would have known about this program. So alhamdulillah, I'm here to talk to you about my experience. But before we do that, you can watch a little clip on my reflection. We've come to the end of the day and it's been a really long one, subhanAllah. It's been incredibly hot. The heat here is really, really intense. That's something that I find a little bit difficult. The fact that you're probably sweating more than you're drinking. And but alhamdulillah, the people here are really, really lovely. They've been incredibly welcoming and just friendly and warm towards us and trying to communicate with us. MashaAllah, I've managed to make a friend with one of the women in the village, and they've been trying to tell me about their experiences and the fact that they've never left this village their entire life. And it just makes me think of the opportunities that I have, alhamdulillah, you know, being where I am and being able to do certain things that I am, and having the advantage of an education and traveling and being able to see different cultures and see different people and finding ways to help them. So I think that's something that I'm going to be taking away from this, inshallah. Yeah, that was the reflection from the first day. We went to a village called Kosi, which was about 10 kilometers outside of Kerouac, and it was incredibly hot. It's like a desert village there, and we had to spend the night there as well. And we had some very interesting, unexpected guests come and greet us in the middle of the night in our tents. So it's been a wonderful experience, I think, for a first day, subhanallah. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, considering you had the opportunity to spend the night with the locals, how was that actually, seeing their way of life compared to here, and you know, and their general atmosphere? Because they seem very lively, very welcoming and warm. But tell us the entirety of it. Do
you know what? They are the nicest people I have ever met. SubhanAllah, they are so content with like the littlest thing. You know, they were just happy that we were there. They were like, oh, our brothers and sisters have come to see us. It was just really beautiful. And you know, the fact that, you know, they have this tiny building which is kind of like run down, but they use it as their masjid, and we're all able to pray in congregation together. So if we couldn't fit in the building, we're all praying outside of the building, and then in the evenings they would spend the time doing dhikr, and it was just so beautiful. I can't explain the kind of peace that you feel. It was just incredible. So it doesn't matter how rough you feel, it doesn't matter how hard the day's been, at that moment you just feel so tranquil. It was just unbelievable.
I think, to be fair, you really do need that, to be fair, and it just shows you how we tend to trivialize our own struggles as being the end problem. So the whole kind of idea of quote-unquote first world problems, in comparison to what some of these people go through, it's just nothing.
Yeah, and yet still, subhanAllah, you know, they're so content. I think that we've just made our lives so full of all of these things which, you know, we consider very important, but are actually so superficial, and we think that, you know, we need to just struggle in order to attain them and then we will be happy. You know, I'm not even saying perhaps, you know, on a really materialistic level, but, you know, even when it comes to truly important things like education, you know, like our jobs, you know, when we're struggling to get them. But subhanAllah, even without those things, you know, just the contentment and the peace that Islam gives you, as you're saying, is just really beautiful to watch.
I think to really redirect our focus. You know, as human beings, we're very forgetful. And I think that you know, from time to time to redirect our focus is something that's really necessary, and it's something that even the Quran, you know, encourages us to do.
Absolutely. I think when you do go and you're able to experience different ways of life, you appreciate a lot more what you do have. And I think one of the things that I learned being out there is tawakkul in Allah makes a massive difference. And I think we kind of repeat all the time, we say, oh, just trust in Allah, have tawakkul. But then, you know, sometimes from our attitudes, you kind of gauge, you know, that we don't completely have tawakkul in Allah. And I think from the people over there, you really do understand what tawakkul in Allah is, because they don't know when the next meal is going to come. They live literally from day to day. They truly have tawakkul in Allah, and you never see them complaining.
It's because we should know that Allah is Razak, and these people have clearly proved that Allah is the provider. And I think here in this country, we tend to conceptualize this idea of tawakkul in theory, but essentially the way I see it is that everybody in this ummah and generally in the world is like a tea bag. You won't know how strong somebody is until you put them with a little bit of hot water.
That's a really good analogy, subhanAllah. I think one of the things that I learned from being in that village is that it doesn't matter how hard life is. If you have remembrance of Allah and you have people around you who are constantly reminding you of Allah, it's so easy to just get on with life. SubhanAllah, it's easy just to get on with it. Just get on with it. Just get on with it, SubhanAllah. So I think that's one of the big lessons for me. Oh, Jazakallah khair in joining me on a bit of my reflection of Senegal.
I enjoyed it.
Unfortunately, we have come to the end of today's show, but do join us again tomorrow where we'll be discussing moving forwards from Ramadan. Before we go, here's another quick reminder of this week's competition.
This week on